Welcome back. We're very happy to have you with us today. We're continuing our reflections in Lent, and it's a very sunny, nice day here, but it's still cool. Kind of a heat wave compared to what we had last week. But we're quickly getting through this winter and moving into spring soon, we think. But we're going to continue right now for the second week in Lent, as I already said, with, is it Mark's version of the Transfiguration?
Yeah.
Okay.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no fuller on earth could bleach them. Then Elijah appeared to them along with Moses, and they were conversing with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He hardly knew what to say. They were so terrified. Then a cloud came, casting a shadow over them. From the cloud came a voice, "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." Suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone but Jesus alone with them. And they were coming down from the mountain. He charged them not to relate what they had seen to anyone, except when the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what rising from the dead meant. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So we have this wonderful reading, and everybody, well, not everybody, but every once in a while you'll hear someone say, "Oh, this was really a resurrection reading, and it's out of place. Someone moved it, and everything like that." And I don't buy into any of that. I think it's in the right place. We have this amazing thing in the great history of the gospel, if you can put it that way, and what happens in the gospel, that before a very difficult thing happens, before he goes to Jerusalem and suffers and dies for us, he shows his closest friends this. And it's a way of saying and reminding them, showing them the end and the beginning. We are going to go through hard times, and he's already said that too. He goes, "No, I will go to Jerusalem. I won't be recognized by the elders. I'll be arrested and taken by them." And he shows them this just to kind of bolster them, to give them a little bit of, you've got to understand where this is going. This all has to happen in this way, so that we can come into that full, bright, transfigured light that we see in this reading. Before we can get to that, you're going to have to go through this. I'm going to have to go through this. You're going to have to be separated from me. And in it, they're given something to look forward to before a very dark period in their time together, at the end of their time together on this earth. So I think we remember that God knows what we need in our lives. He gives us the seasons of the year. He gives us Lent. He gives us challenges, perhaps, or permits them, or knows we can't avoid them and gives us his grace to overcome them, so that we can grow and become more and better than we were before. There's a couple of expressions, the only way out is through, and things like that sometimes seem a little cold. When I was working as a director of case managers for social work thing, we would work with kids and with people in crisis all the time, and I always told our caseworkers not to rescue anybody, just help them get through it themselves, so they come out with greater skills and abilities that will help them the next time there's a challenge and a crisis. And that's kind of what God does for us, is we go through trials and difficulties, understanding that as we don't go through them alone, first of all, and as we go through them, we gain skill and insight and gain knowledge, and we gain all of those tools necessary to go through them ourselves, to become stronger. If we're constantly pulled out of the fire, we'll never get cooked. And now that's a bad analogy for people, because we don't want to be cooked. But when If we did that with our food, oh, fire is bad. Well, you have to subject the dough to the fire, or else it's not really edible. I just saw that on a bag of flour this morning. It says, "Do not eat raw dough" on it. I say, we all do it, you know. But there's good wisdom in it too, because it's not a cooked food; it's raw. So it's not as good for our stomach as it is when it's been cooked. So we have to go through that thing so that we can become tried and proven, so that we can have those strengthened, so that we can have those skills. And Jesus very wisely gives this to his friends to help them understand where this was all going. We also have the questions of Elijah and Moses, and people say, well, the parish council, everyone was asking, well, I wonder what they talked about. And I said, well, it's an interesting question. But more importantly is what the voice says, "This is my beloved son." They want to build 3 tents because they see Jesus equal standing up there next to him. And then they want to build 3 tents, and then the voice says, no, only one. This is my beloved son. This is what, and listen to him. And it's important for us to say, we have a lot of great ideas in this world. We have a lot of this idea of them wanting to honor all 3 of these people is not wrong. But the point had to be made that no, one of these is fulfilled, is the fulfillment of the other 2. What Moses and Elijah began is fulfilled in Jesus Christ. And that's led to this. It was still, and it just happened that when Jesus said, "Who do the people say that I am?" and then says, who do you say that I am? And Peter is the one that says, you are the Christ, you are the Son of the living God. And he notices that, and then immediately goes up here and says, "Oh, let's build 3 equal tents." And there's no. Again, what you said about him was right. Listen to him. Listen to him. This is where this was all going, and we don't want to ever have anything in our mind that says Elijah and Moses are bad. They were the precursors, and they were necessary to build us to this moment, to help us get to this moment. We had to go and have that. We had to have what Moses and Elijah do to prepare us for that. It so happens that we kind of, we are very good at doing this, and it might not be with Elijah and Moses or about a religious thing, but it might be an idea. You know, so we have a lot of good ideas on this earth. We say, well, we're Catholic and we're Christian, and we should be voting in this way. And it's like, okay, you're Catholic and you're Christian, and you have to participate in the life of citizenship. But and as much of that good as that is, it is not the same as recognizing that Jesus Christ is Lord. It is not the same as doing what he said when he said, "Help the least." It is not the same when he said, "Love your enemies. Do good to those who harm you and hate you." It's not the same as that. We have accidental earthly things that change, and if we put an equal sign between being Catholic and our political life, then we commit a grave error in judgment on our part, because those things can change. What we understand in our life to be the most important are the unchanging things. Will there always be poverty? Will there always be hungry? Will there always be people in prison? Will there always be people in need? Those are the people that the least that Jesus calls us to minister to before all else. Those are the ones we remember in prayer before all else, except maybe God himself, when we say thank you for the good things you've given us, Lord, and hallowed be thy name, that kind of thing. And then say, give us, especially those most in need, what they need today. Give them food to eat and a roof over their heads above any else. And that is really an eternal thing, that we should always be looking to care, especially for the least, but for all, and including our enemies. That line about loving our enemies that Jesus says we probably should say every day, especially during Lent. We should probably be reminded of that every day, that it is not for and he even says, you claim no heavenly virtue if you love only those who repay you in return. Your reward, you have received it already. but rather we would put our energies to the people who, for us, are difficult to love. And it does not mean being irresponsible or doing anything foolish. What it means is asking God for the grace of really, really, really knowing how to love. Really knowing how to love as He loves. And some days that's easier than the others. It's your feelings get hurt or things happen, and it becomes very, very challenging, even impossible without God's help to even think about being able to love somebody who's done us harm. But we try, and when we can't do it, we say, "Hey God, I need your help." If we put our minds and our hearts to that, then how much greater would we be building up our communities in what matters most, which is what is eternal and is crying out for a heavenly reward, and rather than only an earthly one. So we offer you that today, and during the 3rd, 4th, and 5th week of Lent, we do the scrutiny readings for Year A. So if you're preparing for those as well, and you're a member of this parish, and your parish may be doing them as well, find out whether you're doing the Year A readings or B this year. I always do Year A. It's always an option for us. And we have 30 catechumens this year, which is unbelievable. But we have 30 catechumens and 15 candidates who are coming into full communion with the Church this year. And so the option really doesn't exist. We have to do them then. So we're doing those all the next 3rd, 4th, and 5th week. So remember that, and please join us for the exploration of those wonderful, wonderful scrutiny readings. Thank you.